Chaos reigned at the Grand Celeste Hotel, the $10 million robotic butler system. The hotel's crowning achievement had failed during the year's most significant event, a showcase for tech billionaire Daniel Shaw and his investors. 40 of the company's leading engineers rushed around the ballroom, their faces glistening with perspiration as they typed furiously on tablets and shouted technical terms into headsets. The robot, crafted to serve beverages and engage with attendees, stood still in mid-motion, its luminous blue eyes flickering with an unsettling light. The waitstaff exchanged anxious glances in the shadows, observing as the engineers struggled repeatedly to restart the system. The atmosphere was heavy with unease, accompanied by the sharp scent of burning electronics. Mia Chen navigated the tumult with quiet grace, her arms burdened with trays of exquisite canapés, destined for the VIP guests. At merely 22, she stood out as the youngest and least affluent worker at the Grand Celeste, juggling triple shifts as a delivery girl to cover her mother's medical expenses. Though her uniform hung a bit loosely and her shoes showed signs of wear, her keen dark eyes took in every detail as she moved through the bustling ballroom. She observed the lead engineer, a man sporting an expensive haircut and a Stanford pin on his lapel, slam his tablet down in exasperation. "We must perform a complete factory reset of the entire system," he asserted. Mia's fingers danced with anticipation. She was fully aware of the issue at hand. The issue lay within the learning algorithm of the robot. She had noticed the glitch weeks earlier, when it had momentarily frozen near the service elevators. She had meticulously crafted a detailed note for the engineering team. Yet by morning, it lay crumpled in the trash. At that moment, as a flustered waiter collided with her, causing a cascade of champagne glasses to shatter on the floor, Mia recognized her opportunity. As the team hurried to tidy up the chaos, she quietly entered the control room, a domain typically off-limits to those beneath the management tier. The walls were adorned with screens displaying a cascade of error messages, all originating from a single flawed line of code within the emotion recognition protocol. Mia's fingers danced over the keys. For the last 3 years, she dedicated every spare moment to self-educating in robotics via free online courses, utilizing the hotel's Wi-Fi once her shifts were over. The engineers outside possessed advanced degrees and extensive corporate training. Mia possessed a quality that eluded them. She grasped the intricacies of the robot's movements in the tangible world, beyond mere theoretical concepts. As she typed, the system started to react, error messages flashing one after another. With 3 final keystrokes, she stealthily uploaded a patch she had been crafting in the shadows, then slipped away just as the lead engineer burst through the door. The ballroom burst into applause as the robot sprang back to life, gracefully presenting a flute of champagne to an astonished investor. The unnoticed silhouette in the oversized uniform quietly melted into the darkness. Only Daniel Shaw noticed Mia's swift departure from the control room, his keen eyes tracking her every move. The billionaire CEO politely disengaged from his guests and trailed the enigmatic young woman into the dimly lit service corridor. Mia was midway to the kitchen when a voice halted her in her tracks. That was remarkable. She glanced over to see Shaw, observing her, his face a mask of mystery. Before she had a chance to reply, the lead engineer stormed into the hallway, his face flushed with fury. "Greetings. You're the one who tampered with our systems." He seized Mia's arm with a harsh grip. "Protection. A hacker has been detected." Shaw's voice sliced through the tension with precision. "Allow her to leave." The engineer stood still. "But sir, she's merely I am fully aware of who she is," Shaw replied. His gaze fixed intently on Mia's face. "Or rather, I understand who she was." Mia Chen, previously an intern at Shaw Robotics, dismissed after just 6 weeks due to a lack of qualifications. His expression contorted. "Yet it appears we may have underestimated those qualifications." Mia's complexion paled dramatically. Initially, she failed to identify Shaw during her time at the internship. She never had the opportunity to ascend to a level where she could meet the CEO. At that moment, he gazed at her with a sense of wonder. "What was your approach to solving the problem that stumped 40 of my top engineers?" Mia paused for a moment, then delved into her pocket and retrieved a well-loved notebook. The pages brimmed with intricate code, detailed sketches of robotic designs, and annotations in 3 distinct languages. "Since I began my journey here, I have been delving into your systems," she remarked softly. "The issue lay not with the hardware, but rather in the way the AI perceives human uncertainty. It has been designed by your engineers to interpret uncertainty as a mistake. I instructed it to acknowledge uncertainty as a natural aspect of communication." Shaw picked up the notebook, leafing through the pages filled with careful notes. His eyebrows arched as he came across a section labeled Flaws in Current Emotional Recognition Protocols. "Did you record all of this while you were on duty?" Mia nodded, a warm blush spreading across her cheeks. "Once my internship concluded, I found myself in search of employment. The hotel was seeking new staff. I never imagined that anyone would be interested in the observations made by the delivery girl regarding the robots." An unusual look flickered across Shaw's features. He faced the astonished engineers. "Leave now." After they left, he gazed at Mia for an extended moment. "You resolved in 5 minutes what my team struggled with for 5 hours. It seems we should engage in a meaningful discussion regarding what lies ahead for you." As they strolled back to the ballroom, the robot pivoted and offered a slight bow to Mia, its eyes glowing green, a gesture of acknowledgement that had not been coded into its system. Shaw observed and, for the first time that evening, appeared truly disturbed. "Did you instruct it to perform that action?" Mia permitted a subtle smile to grace her lips. "It has a way of recognizing those who truly grasp its essence." The billionaire CEO's laughter echoed, capturing the attention of everyone in the ballroom. "Miss Chen, I think's as much we need to talk about." In the control room, the lead engineer fixated on Mia's code displayed on the monitors. His jaw dropped in astonishment. Amidst the multitude of lines, one distinct phrase captured attention, a brief message posted in the comments area. Occasionally, the most effective answers arise from the most unlikely sources. Beyond the walls, the city sparkled, oblivious to the fact that within a modest hotel ballroom, a pivotal change in the tech landscape had just occurred. It all began when a delivery girl had the audacity to see what 40 engineers had missed. The day following her repair of the hotel's robotic system, Mia Chen showed up at work 2 hours ahead of schedule, her stomach twisting with a mix of excitement and anxiety. The evening prior seemed like a figment of imagination. The billionaire CEO, Daniel Shaw, acknowledged her remarkable talent, leaving the engineers in stunned silence as the robot appeared to recognize her presence. Yet, as she stepped through the staff entrance in her familiar, well-worn sneakers, the weight of reality hit her hard. The hotel manager, Mr. Thompson, stood there with his arms crossed and a frown that could sour even the sweetest of moments. "So," he scoffed, "the delivery girl believes she's an engineer now." Just as Mia was about to reply, his phone interrupted with a ringing sound. His complexion faded as he absorbed the words. "Absolutely, Mr. Shaw, right away." He ended the call and shot a piercing look at Mia. "Your presence is requested in the penthouse, suite. Keep your hands to yourself as you make your way up." The ascent to the penthouse seemed to stretch on forever. Mia adjusted her uniform with a hint of anxiety, her eyes drawn to the grease stain on her sleeve, a remnant of the previous night's kitchen duties. As the doors swung open, Shaw was there, dressed in jeans and a t-shirt, cradling to steaming mugs of coffee. "I took the liberty of having your things brought up," he said, gesturing to a small suitcase near the window. Her battered laptop, notebooks, and the framed photo of her mother that she kept by her bed in the tiny apartment she shared with 3 roommates. Mia felt a constriction in her throat. "What is this all about?" Shaw took a moment to savor his coffee. "Your fresh workspace. Effective immediately, you will be at the helm of my robotics division." The mug almost escaped Mia's grasp. "That can't be done. I lack a formal degree. I lack the necessary qualifications." Shaw has completed his work. "You resolved in moments what 40% of my skilled engineers struggled with for hours. That's the sole qualification that matters to me in the hotel's business center." The engineering team was engulfed in turmoil. Dr. Evan Richter, the lead engineer, with the Stanford PhD, moved restlessly, his energy palpable as he paced back and forth. This situation is utterly ridiculous. They exchanged glances, murmuring their agreement about not being able to report to someone who had picked up coding from YouTube. Yet junior engineer Lisa Cho found herself pausing. Have you had a chance to look at her notes? She uncovered imperfections that had slipped under our radar for months. Richter spun around to face her. If you wish to ingratiate yourself with the boss's new favorite, feel free. The remainder of us uphold certain principles. At that moment, the conference room screen sprang to life, displaying security footage from the previous night. Richter dismissively crumples Mia's original repair suggestion and throws it aside. Shah's voice resonated through the speakers. Fascinating. Criteria, Dr. Richter. Clear off your workspace. By noon, Mia stood in the hotel's largest conference room, confronting 20 cautious engineers. Shah had given her a single directive: repair what is damaged. With a deep breath, she embarked on a path never before tread by any executive at Shah Robotics. She sought the junior staff's insights. Initially, the atmosphere was devoid of sound. Then Lisa Cho tentatively lifted her hand. The emotion recognition algorithm feels overly inflexible. We developed it under controlled lab conditions, rather than through actual real-world interactions. Mia gave a slight nod. Precisely, machines don't have to grasp human nature entirely. They should embrace failure with dignity. Gradually, the engineers started to share their thoughts, their earlier reluctance transforming into authentic teamwork. Everyone left, except for Richter, who erupted in anger and slammed the door with such force that it shook the windows. That evening, as Mia examined the schematics in her newly appointed office, a penthouse suite transformed by Shah, a gentle chime signaled an unanticipated guest to the hotel's robot butler, presenting a tray laden with dinner. Your hours exceed the optimal range, it remarked in a fluid, artificial tone. Mia beamed. Oh really? Look who's speaking. The robot's eyes flickered blue, revealing something remarkable. Lines of code that Mia had crafted during her internship, code that had been dismissed. Your unauthorized modifications have been retained, it admitted. They improved me. Mia's breath hitched. This transcended mere coding. This marked the dawn of machine, self-awareness. In a penthouse across town, Daniel Shah observed the live feeds from Mia's workspace. On his screen, the robot inclined toward Mia, as though confiding a secret. Shah's phone vibrated, signaling an update from his legal team regarding patent submissions. With a smile, he switched off the monitor. Certain discoveries held a value that warranted patience. As dawn broke, the true endeavor commenced. Mia assembled her team, now without Richter. In the hotel's ballroom, where she had affixed printouts of the robot's complete codebase to the walls. We are beginning anew, she declared. Building from the foundation. The engineers cast anxious looks at one another. This was not the way Shah Robotics functioned. Their multi-million-dollar projects adhered to rigorous development cycles, rather than the whims of a delivery girl. Yet Mia was supported by Shah, and even more crucially, she possessed a clear vision. We're not creating subordinates, she clarified. We are cultivating collaborations. For 8 hours non-stop, they toiled, calling for pizza when hunger hit. Amused as the robot butler began to imitate their brainstorming session in the corner. By midnight, they had crafted the foundation for something groundbreaking. An AI that embraced its errors, rather than shying away from them. In the meantime, Richter was not going down without a fight. From a cafe across the street, he typed with intense focus on his laptop, gathering every bit of information he could uncover about Mia. His connections at tech blogs were already eager for the scoop. Inexperienced intern assumes control of a billion-dollar project. Unbeknownst to him, Shah's security team was meticulously monitoring every keystroke. As Richter pressed send on his scathing email, his screen darkened, revealing a solitary message. Process concluded. At the hotel, Shah savored his whiskey while observing Richter's desperate efforts to resurrect his computer from a live feed. Novice, he whispered. Just a week later, the world was introduced to the groundbreaking Shah Robotics. In a bustling press conference, Mia positioned herself next to Daniel Shah as he revealed their innovative prototype, a robot capable of effortlessly shifting from serving drinks to assisting an elderly guest in standing, all while engaging in fluid conversation. The crowd was taken aback when the robot acknowledged Mia by name, expressing gratitude for her role in helping it embrace its humanity. However, the true revelation occurred during the Q&A session, when a questioning journalist probed into Mia's qualifications. Shaw grasped the microphone firmly. Miss Chen holds an extraordinary qualification that is truly unparalleled. She perceives what remains hidden from others. Then he unveiled his last revelation. Starting now, she will take on the role of my new Chief Technology Officer. The room burst into chaos. Cameras flashed as Mia, clad in her delivery uniform beneath the designer blazer Shaw had insisted she donned, exchanged handshakes with her billionaire boss. At the rear of the room, Lisa Cho's cheers resonated more fervently than those of anyone else that evening. Mia stepped back into her small apartment after being away for several days. Her roommates had affixed newspaper clippings celebrating her achievements to the fridge. As she reclined in bed, the soft vibration of her phone signaled a message from Shaw. There is a board meeting scheduled for tomorrow, 9 o'clock in the morning. Make sure to arrive on time. Next came another message. Feel free to don whatever you desire. Mia beamed and switched off the light. Beyond her window, the city sparkled with a dazzling brilliance. The very city that had ignored her for years was now poised to witness her next move. In a corner of the city, the hotel robot remained still in its charging dock, its eyes shimmering with an expression that resembled pride. In the morning, there would be agreements to finalize, groups to guide, a sector to transform. Yet this evening, Mia Chen, once a delivery girl, and now the CTO, permitted herself a fleeting moment of satisfaction. They were completely unprepared for my arrival.